Welcome to Dr. Yacoub KHALAF. Dr. Iman, you have problem with connection in Zoom.
Okay, we hope we can get Dr. Iman back with us, and I am on my way. Can you see me? Can you see my slides?
Yeah, we see you.
Yes, I am very
Good.
sorry for my terrible voice, because as you can see, I've got bad cold, even though I had the flu vaccine and I have the badge to show that I had it. But anyway, I will try my best not to bore you, but for any particular forum like this one, addressing research honesty and integrity is of paramount importance. We cannot launch into research without making or taking note of what matters to research honesty and integrity. The society expects us to be able, through science, to solve a problem. Whether it's fertility or infertility or medicine, it is our responsibility. Now, the society cannot trust us if our work is not trustworthy and if we can't trust each other. If we do that, we will be seen as just another professional group. It could be in any walk of life that are interested in furthering their career, making money perhaps, and not particularly interested in society's problems. So integrity in medical research is extremely important. Integrity is about the performance of research to the highest professional standard or highest standard of professionalism and rigor in an ethically robust manner. And sometimes these things are forgotten because you just go and ask the patient if you did, but there is no paperwork to show that you really have explained and the patient got you her truly informed consent. That's ethically untrustworthy. Misconduct is when you don't follow those principles. If you don't have the high standards of integrity and ethics and you ignore them because you are keen to publish, then that is misconduct. I can't say that research misconduct, please bear with me with my flu. I can't suggest that research misconduct is limited to certain continent or certain country or certain people. Research misconduct is experienced globally, everywhere. Name a country and I will tell you there will be some element of research misconduct, because there will always be bad apples in any culture. If the environment where we work in has a different attitude to what we call dishonesty, if it shows zero tolerance, when the research shows that it's not trustworthy, people pay the consequences, this will not propagate. But if they turn a blind eye, this will flourish and will lead to more bad research. So, as I said, research misconduct, and when you don't follow the integrity. How you not follow the integrity or the high standard? You can fabricate. That is the worst possible scenario, where you imagine that you had the study, but you, rather than doing it in the field with the ethical standard and the ethical approval and the recruitment standard and the witnessing and everything else, no, you do it in your own office and send to the publication. And or falsification. You did a little bit and then you made the club the rest. Or you use somebody else's work to claim it is yours, even if it is the introduction. There is some pioneering work that had to be retracted because the author helped themselves to the introduction from somebody else. So they plagiarized this and undermined their reputation, the hard work that they did, and the reputation of the institution. So only through this assessment, we will be able to tell what is fake from what is fact. What are the drivers of research misconduct? We need to ask ourselves, why are we doing research? Are we doing it to explore new ideas, explore new horizons? Do we also do it because we would like to develop novel solutions and prove they work, but legitimately solve unsolved problem? That is the strap line, the party line. But unofficially, some of us will do to publish paper because it sounds prestigious. I publish a lot. Yeah, but this a lot has to be associated with honesty and integrity. To go to conferences, it is very good for the ego to be invited to the conference to publish your work or present your work. If it's honest, that ego should be truly massaged But if it is not, then people should really look deep into themselves. Attract funding. You do research, you need to have track record, then people can trust you with their money. To enhance your CV for your next job, to secure academic industry or academic or industry job, or maybe to impress your people. Now, research is expensive. You cannot do research like you go to McDonald's. Research takes a lot more time, more effort, more money, more governance for it to be credible. You cannot do research as an individual and claim credibility. You need to have a team, and you need to have the controls and the checks and balances within the research to protect the research, protect you, and protect patients. Now, people will say, but research is expensive. If we ignore research because it's expensive, let's have a go at disease because it's much more expensive. Otherwise, we will not progress. Research misconduct is unusual, but it is not rare. When you look deeper, you will find the true picture. The incidence of research misconduct is usually gleaned from how many papers have been retracted, how many papers there is concern being raised, and that increases over the time. Unfortunately, it's increasing exponentially. It is over the years, and that's about maybe 10 years ago. Look at the trajectory. It's going up. Whether it is fraud, as in red, error, or plagiarism, or duplicate publication, it is all going up. And here is the same percentage of retraction going up. It's going exponentially up beyond belief. It's not only one country. Look at it happens, fraud or suspected fraud happened in the US, in Germany, in Japan, in China, in UK, in India, in any country, you name it. Plagiarism can happen anywhere. Developing or developed. Duplicate publication can happen anywhere, developing or developed. How do medical journals deal with research misconduct? They apply the code of publication ethics. If they have a little bit of honest error, they ask for correction. But if there is incorrect author list, they also seek correction. But if it is really a reason to express concern, like inconclusive evidence or publication misconduct, evidence of that finding unreliable, but author institution will not investigate. And one of the common publication misconduct, when we have people having their name on publication they don't know of, just because it is a gift, that's got to stop. Really, it is not the way, the honest way of doing it. Or an investigation is underway, but results not be available for some time. Clear evidence that findings are unreliable. Then you talk about retraction. Plagiarism, falsification, all of that is a cause for retraction. So concerns, that's an example of raising concern. Back in 2000, nice Japanese people expressed their concern about one of their own, a Japanese author. And what did they say? They say reported data on this medication by so-and-so are incredibly nice, which is a code for they are too good to be true. They need to be investigated. Okay, so people investigated. What happens? It took years, and then that person has been involved in 183 randomized controlled trials that were retracted. So it is a small thing that leads to bigger ones. Retraction is the worst punishment because you are really branded dishonest, particularly if it's substantiated, and that is not. It could end academic career in some respectable institution. One recent analysis that focused on articles contained in PubMed database found more than 2/3 of retraction were due to misconduct. That is falsification, fabrication, or plagiarism. And it is not the privilege of small unknown journals. Even big journals have papers retracted due to fraud. The most common example is this one in the Lancet about the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, and other paper, Lancet, Science, Nature, Medicine. So it can happen. But unfortunately, between raising concern and retraction, it could take 10 years. It is much quicker now. And the sad thing is those retracted papers, they continue to be cited So they pollute the literature. So that is a plague that need to be weeded out from the beginning. Look at coronavirus. It's only been around less than 2 years. How many papers have been retracted on COVID alone? Any guess? Some of you will say 10 or 15, 160, and we are counting. In 2 years, and in a high-profile journal by high-profile people, and unfortunately, the mistakes are school children mistake that uncovered the falsification or fabrication. So what is helpful? You cannot do research without proper training. You cannot do research or read research even without understanding the context. And you need to always maintain impartiality. Everybody is adamant that their intervention must prove positive result. That's wrong. You are examining it. And if you examine it objectively, if it does prove or disprove, it is as valuable as each other. So appropriate resources, teamwork, collaboration, peer review, and open-mindedness. It doesn't have to prove what you had in mind beforehand. So what's very helpful is to read the practical research guide for health researcher by one of the research icons in the world. I don't think I've seen many people of his stature or gravitas and his pure concern about humanity in what he teaches and what he conducts and what he lectures. And that's why he is in a special place in the community of obs and gynae for his humanitarian approach. What is not helpful is the wrong approach. By the way, the previous guide is available online free. So what is not helpful is to have the wrong approach. What is the problem with research? Anyone can do it. Let's just make up something. Lack of training. Yeah, again, just do it. You get someone telling you, but there is no control group. Oh, we will give you a control group after you have submitted for publication. That's lamentable. Yeah. Lack of understanding, lack of consultation, preconceived idea, doing away with proper methodology, and having great confidence in observation and observation studies. If we cut many corners when we do research, our research will never have an edge, and that is true. And it is important to subscribe to this. If we decided to do research or to do anything, we should adhere to this principle. Whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. If we decided to spend time on something, spend it on doing something very well. Now, I'm not fond of Tony Blair, but this is his slogan. A long time ago, when he was in charge of Labour Party, he said we should be tough on crime and tough on the cause of crime, which is absolutely spot on. We should be tough, not on research misconduct, but on the root for research misconduct. How we can reduce the root for research misconduct, we should not put undue pressure on people to publish and to produce when they don't have the resources. We don't also make it a prerequisite for academic promotion to publish in international journals when we have not given them the research support to enable them to do a proper job. Okay, inadequate research governance, if people can do whatever they do without check, then it's not a great idea. And I, just for the sake of time, here is my analysis. This where things can go wrong. There is pressure and there is opportunity to do what's something wrong, and you will always rationalize it for yourself, but everybody's doing it. But I have to keep up with my classmates. I can't fall behind. These are the basis for research misconduct. Now, if you look at this, when you have pressure, it depends on the culture. A good culture should not put researcher under pressure. If you have control where people are asked to provide the research data for assessment, then probably the opportunity will not be taken to conduct to research misconduct. If you rationalize, you have to subject that to your own values. Are your own values inclusive of honesty and integrity or not? And this extends to the fraud triangle, also opportunity, rationalization, or incentive. People are paid to do international or to publish international research. If you give them incentive, you are giving also a push to be fraudulent, not just to have research misconduct. When we look at randomized control trial, which is by far the gold standard, the decent gold standard for any intervention, there is a fraud alert that is being suggested in European Journal of Obs and Gynae to help you tell what good research from what not so good research. When you find the trial not registered in clinicaltrial.gov or any respectable research registry, you should wonder why. When it is registered retrospectively as afterthought, you need to ask why, and that raises the highest index of suspicion. When the number of authors is 1 or 2, you cannot do proper work when it's 1 or 2. You just can't, okay? And short time period between the trial completion and publication. That is half-baked job. You need some proper analysis, proper cleaning of data, proper drafting of the paper, which could be up to 12, 13 drafts sometimes. Implausibility of recruitment. When you say your recruitment for something rare, 800 patients, which planet are you on? Some institution could take 5 years to recruit this, and you recruit them in 6 months, you have to explain, and so on and so forth. So the other issue also now that it's become mandatory. If you claim honesty in what you did, you have to be able to provide raw data when asked. And most of decent publication will say now, request for data collected for the study can be made to the corresponding author and will be considered on an individual basis. Additional study-related documents are immediately available and can be requested from the corresponding author. That reassures that everything is transparent, people don't have anything to hide, and you have it to check it out, rather than say, no, I'm not giving you. Who are you to give you my raw data? I'm not giving. That's just not the way. And I have examples where people were challenged and turned this into opportunity. They turned the raw data to the editor and to the publisher. They prove the veracity of what they did, and they had received a due apology. Cochrane Library, we had a webinar recently, some of you may have attended, and it is clear that problematic studies will be labeled before included in any Cochrane review. And that will cause a problem, because if you have your trial as problematic, you'll have explanation to do. And you don't want to contribute to the talk that I gave, where everybody assumes now research is fraudulent until proven otherwise. That is almost established. Those who are interested in reading about research integrity and fostering it, this document is available online for free. So you can get it and have a read. So these are the conclusions. Research is important, and good clinical research skills, something you can acquire, and research training and resources are essential. Research planning and monitoring are important. Peer review is extremely helpful. Cutting corners undermine research quality, and research under pressure will almost always be compromised. The end in research or in medicine should never justify the means. Just because you are keen to get promoted does not mean you should do that. But also my final thought, be aware, a word of caution. To who? To the readers. Don't believe everything you read, whether it's electronic or in the library. To the author, beware, your work will be under scrutiny. And if it is not watertight, you will be questioned. To the patients, when you are given advice, you need to not to take it from Google, but take it from expert who believes in evidence-based medicine. Thank you very much.